Fox Carolina, the Midday News.
Welcome back to the Midday News on Fox Carolina. Fake plants are great for those who don't have a green thumb, but most of the time, they're not that pretty. Well, today on Midday Makeover, we are learning how to elevate your faux greenery. And of course, joining us again is Allison Roman from Instagram at Roman Family Home. Thank you for not only stopping in, but for bringing the jungle.
I mean, I brought
with you.
The whole jungle.
You have showed me already, without even saying a word, that there is a variety of fake plants.
There is. Fake plants have come a long way. I feel like several years ago, it was like if you had a fake plant in your house, it was kind of the cheap thing. You didn't want to admit it. But a lot of brands now are making them, and they're making them look really pretty.
Which I love, because my sisters have green thumbs. So, like, I go to their apartments and their places, and I'm like, oh, it's such a nice ambiance. Like, I wish I could be that person, but I barely keep my one plant alive.
Same. I have one plant that I've kept alive in my home, but it is literally in my bathroom next to the bathtub. So it's easy, right? I just turn the bath faucet on to water. I don't have to move it, but everything else in my house is fake.
I love that.
It just has to be.
You're saying now it can be fake, it can look real because you can elevate it.
Yes.
What are some of your tips and tricks?
Okay, so the biggest tip is that often you go into a store and every faux plant is already planted in a pot or a vase. This one is actually pretty nice, but sometimes you'll buy a faux plant, especially off Amazon, and it just comes in a little plastic container. And if it's a huge tree, it just feels, you can tell it's not real, right? Because a tree root system is going to be bigger than that, and so you really want to put it in another pot. So I've got a few examples of kind of pots or even baskets or even like a waste bin. So you can get a little creative.
That's smart, because also pots can get expensive fast.
They can get expensive. I even have a variety, like this one's actually ceramic and it's heavy, but I have some that are plastic that look real.
Yeah.
And you can go that route too. This is a great route if you have a student heading off to college and they want some greenery, get a little plastic pot.
That's smart. Especially because also dorm rooms have so many rules of what you can and can't have.
Yeah, that's a good point.
That's definitely going to pass the checks. I also like the idea of a basket. This one next to
I love the idea of a basket. That's what I use the most often in my home, which is actually where I'll start with my tip today. So the tip is super simple, and it's really helpful when you have a basket. And that is to first put your plant in a pot or a basket that you actually love. But there's going to be a little bit of empty space there. And so I like to add the Spanish moss onto the top.
Yes.
And you can get that from Walmart or Amazon. And the reason I like the Spanish moss is it is super fluffy and it's not going to sink down and fall into the planter or the pot. Unlike peat moss, so there's a little bit of peat moss here that I've used in the past. It's not as good of an option because it will sink down in the planter and then you've got to build it up with some paper towels or something else. So I'm gonna make Haley plant one for us so we can show you how easy this is.
I always feel like I say if I can do it, anyone can do it.
That's right.
I'm not a DIY person. I revolt against DIY projects normally.
I'm gonna point out too while you do this.
Yeah.
This is more of a traditional looking vase, and so another reason why this is helpful is that if you have more of a modern aesthetic, you can still buy the plant that you love, even if you didn't love the pot it came in, and then you get to change it up.
That's a great point, because when you're buying a real plant, it doesn't matter what it comes in, because you can
Exactly.
move it. But when you're buying a fake plant, like, it's glued in. So that's a great point that it can still work for your decor.
Just get something a little bit bigger, you can plop it in, and then you probably don't need all of this.
All of this?
So I would just pull some off. It's a little messy. I'm gonna help you here.
Okay.
We got it. Oh,
We got
yeah.
this.
We're gonna make a mess in here.
That's okay.
And have to clean it up.
Our production crew will still love us.
And then, and yeah, you just plop it around the top.
Okay, well, this is probably still a little bit too much.
Yeah, that's all right. I think it looks really nice. I'm actually gonna plop one up here while you do that, and put one in the gold.
Oh, I love that.
I know, I love the gold.
I thought that maybe that would be too small of a fake plant for the gold, but it's not.
No, I thought the same thing with this one because this plant is actually sitting really deep down in here, but something about it I think works even better than the original.
I saw a hack a few years ago to buy like real mulch to put on, or like real dirt that you could put on, and I liked it until like my dog hit the plant, and then there was dirt all over my living room floor. So I like this idea because while it's maybe messy when I'm first making it, I feel like after that the mess is gone.
Exactly, and you saw how hard it was to pull apart, which is messy while you're getting it set up, but afterwards it's staying put, which is really nice.
Really quickly, when you are going to get some fake plants, what should we budget for? How much does it usually cost?
That's a really good question. So if you are going to be getting a tree, anything I would say over 5 feet tall, 5 to 7 feet tall, you are going to be spending between $100 and $200 for a pretty quality one. You might find one on sale on Amazon for around $100, but usually I'd say a really good one, $150 to $200. And then the smaller, medium-sized ones range between $15 to $45.
Which I feel like maybe you're going to get sticker shock, but it's a one-time fee.
It is.
Because then you have it, if you take care of it, that $200 will last you years.
Exactly, and you're not having to water it and kill it and then go buy another one.
Yeah,
so
you're speaking to me right now.
Exactly.
I kill my plants all the time. All right, well, I love this because I'm going to sneakily get some greenery into my apartment now without having to actually have greenery in my apartment now. So thank you so much for all of these tips and tricks. Of course, be sure to give Allison a follow on Instagram at Roman Family Home. It is social media day, so
I saw that.
She's a great account to follow. She has so many good tips and tricks, and we will have a link to everything you need to know for today on foxcarolina.com. That's also where you can find past Midday Makeover segments as well.